So in the language of Srila Guru Maharaj, I often express is home, sweet home. So this place can be considered as one of the representations of our home, sweet home, of our original home, sweet home. This is one of the representations here of our original home, sweet home, which is Goloka Vrindavan. Because many times Goloka consciousness appeared here, we felt it. Through the divine ista-gosthi, pure devotional ista-gosthi of Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Swami Prabhupada ji, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Darita Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Akinchan Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Jajavar Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Alok Paramahamsa Goswami Maharaj, and so on. Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and so on. Gathered here, get together and engaged in divine ista-gosthi, mutually tasting a devotional mood, pure devotional mood, ecstatic love, taste of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Gadadhara Prabhu, Panchatattva, Radha and Krishna over here. So Goloka consciousness appeared here. There's not a tinge of exaggeration in this. Goloka consciousness really appeared here, flowed here through the engagement of the ista-gosthi of all these pure devotees gathering here, exalted pure devotees. And when exalted pure devotees get together and they engage in divine ista-gosthi, pure devotional ista-gosthi, there cannot but be a very special taste of the Goloka Vrindavana, Nabadwip Dham over there. There is the real mission of Mahaprabhu, Radha Krishna, in a live way manifest in a live way. Jedino grihe bhajana dekhi grihete goloka bhaya. This is Krishna griha, Mahaprabhu Radha Krishna griha. So, not only Goloka consciousness manifested here many times, but also it is present here forever. Nitya, eternal. Just we have to connect. We just need to be attuned with the channel, with the center. So Goloka Vrindavana consciousness is ever present in this place, in a very subtle, spiritual way, transcendental way. When you know how to be attuned with, it is always there. Higher spiritual sense, we can feel into it. Because after all, the nature is nitya lila. Nature of the lila is that of eternal character, nitya lila. It has to be understood in spiritual sense, higher spiritual, divine sense. May not always be understood just in the objectively, casually, objectively material, conventionally material way. Higher spiritual things need to be connected in a high class, higher spiritual way, in a befitting manner. Higher spiritual truths, spiritual realities must be connected to in a befitting spiritual manner with higher spiritual feelings and hankering, laulam for that. Hankering. profound eagerness, yearning, hankering with all humility, with all reverence and humility. Then yame vaisha brinute tena labha. Then we can receive the connection and revelation. Connection with revelations of that higher spiritual energy, divine energy, pure devotional flow. Like we have to be in tune with the center, like different channels in the TV and radio station. We have to know how to be attuned with a particular frequency, how to be in tune and attune with a particular frequency. There are many frequencies of the pure devotional life, pure devotional feelings, many frequencies of the transcendental world, vast, infinite world of the pure devotional consciousness, moved in beautiful variegatedness and excellence. So there are so many centers to be in tune with, connect to so many frequencies, beautiful divine frequencies, divine dimensions, divine frequencies we are needed to connect to and tune. As soon as we can connect to those frequencies, everything is there. We make the connection and revelation comes. From the super subjective level, in the language of Srila Guru Maharaja, not ordinary, no question of receiving that kind of experience, realization from just ordinary mundane level, no question. Not even higher objective level, but it's from higher super subjective level of Krishna consciousness. Because that level of consciousness cannot be controlled by us. Like we are subject that becomes object, it never happens that way. But rather that is of super subjective nature, that reigns, that is controller and that is reigning, and we are recipient. And with all humility, sincere yearning and hankering, we want that, then that comes down through the descending method. That comes down, it is bestowed, appears, makes the revelation. And that's what is described in that verse, Yame Vaisha Brinute Tena Labha. You cannot receive the connection, you cannot receive it, you cannot attain it by your own limited ability, by your own finite limited ability. You can be only praying. You can be only praying with all loving humility, yearning, hankering. And then that will be descending in your heart, in the world of your realization, to be bestowed, revealed out of its mercy, out of its divine grace, gracious decision, by its gracious decision, gracious dispensation. Not that you try to capture it, understand it by your own limited ability with any kind of arrogance, becoming master and acquirer of knowledge, so I will also acquire some knowledge of that plane. No. Sometimes knowledge can be acquired in some formal, intellectual way, but that's not really what it is. The very live taste and essence may or may not be there in that kind of intellectual knowledge of the Siddhanta. But But that has to be received through all openness, open heart, full sincerity with all yearnings and hankering. Then the revelation of realization comes. And this is such bliss. This is such bliss of that. I have been the eyewitness, heart witness of many of my Guru Varga got together here and simply absorbed in tasting their ista-gosthi for hours or days. Very living, ambrosially living experience, lively ambrosial experience of Mahaprabhu consciousness, Gaura Nityananda, Gadadhara Mahaprabhu consciousness, divine couple consciousness. So, there's certain principal ways of cultivating our life of Radha Krishna consciousness. And one of the main features is to be engaging in devotional ista-gosthi. One main or principal feature of the Krishna Sankirtana is to be absorbed in ista-gosthi from time to time or whenever that chance is available. Just is spontaneously appearing in my mind and heart before discussing the topic of ista-gosthi. See, one of the great practical ways of connecting to the world of Krishna consciousness is also to be relating to this whole universal creation, whole universal cosmic energy flowing everywhere, with what we can practically see, feel, connect to. Universal form of the Lord. But doing it in spiritual sense, in a transcendental sense, not in just casual, conventional, material way. That's how the Mahabhagavata's Uttamadhikaris do. They relate to this whole universal form of the Supreme Lord in transcendence, in higher spiritual way, transcendental way, not just casually, limitedly, objectively material ways, just as we often view. That's the essential vision of the Virata Rupa of Krishna, universal form of the Krishna. It's spiritual identity, spiritual vision. Vision of the universal form of Krishna in transcendence. And that's what the Uttamadhikari devotees, Mahabhagavata devotees do. Therefore, everywhere, wherever they look around, everything they look around, look at, wherever they see, they see and feel the presence of Krishna, Krishna's energy. Everything is filled with Krishna's energy through annaya and vyatireka way, whether actively or passively, positively or certain necessarily negative ways, is all flowing. It has been described through Holy Scripture, annaya vyatireka. Lord's Srila manifest both ways. Spiritually, transcendently positive ways also. There are certain aspects of this universal creation which is material, negative ways. But that negative ways also got some purpose for our comparative study. In order to have comparative experiences in our life, between good, better, best, or what is worst, tamasic, rajasic, sattvic, which is worst in our life or bad, not to accept, not to associate with, which is good, better, and best. So, in order to give us comparative experiences of our life realization, both ways are necessary in the creation, positive and negative. There are certain aspects of the negative which actually complements the positive, complements to the positive aspect of Radha Krishna Leela. They are called positively negative, not negatively negative type. Not of negatively negative character, but positively negative characters. Okay, so they are rather complementing to the purpose. Just as when we feel thirsty, feel hungry, okay, these are signs of health. These are symbols of positively negative things. When we feel very thirsty, we have some strain, don't really like it because we become desperate, we become so impatient to drink water because we're feeling very thirsty. So in the feelings of our thirst or extreme hunger, it doesn't feel so good, but it is hurting good. It's not really hurting to hurt, but it is hurting good. Like in a massage, acupressure massage. Sometimes it's hurting, but hurting good. So it's a sign of health, having hunger, great thirst, sign of health. It's a positively negative sign, but not really negatively negative. Because while we are so thirsty, we can enjoy drinking water, which will be promoting our health. When we feel very hungry, then that creates the scope for us to eat, taste nutritious, delicious food and be appeased and feel appeased, and that promotes our health. So such type of thirst and hunger are characterized as positively negative type. The negative scope which is created to invite more the aspects of positive health. So in Radha Krishna Leela, we also often find that characteristic. There are a lot of things to know about and feel, realize about. So back to the point, Jomang pashyati sarvatra, sarvancha mani pashyati, tassaham na pranashami, sachame na pranashati. This is spoken in relation to Krishna's universal form. But how to relate? So why I am saying this, sometimes devotees have some questions and feelings. Oh, Krishna consciousness is too high for us. It's so difficult to relate to that frequency, relate to that level. We don't have anything. We don't always directly connect and feel anything. It's all too high above our head. We believe in it, try to feel in it. We're only going by faith after years, just moving through faith and going by faith. Nothing we cannot feel much in a tangible way, directly tangible way, like we can relate, we can perceive our objective world, like the way we can directly perceive this material objective world. We cannot have such perception about the world of Krishna consciousness. It's too invisible, too subtle, too high for us. Only by reading holy scriptures, hearing from the Mahajanas, pure devotees, we understand there is so much to realize, so much to directly feel and conceive. So much realities are there, but yet in our everyday life, we do not always have the direct contact, tangible way of the realization. So, it's too high spiritual things. We cannot see, we cannot touch Him, we cannot touch that supreme, divine, absolute. We cannot touch that supreme, divine being, the supreme, divine, absolute. Can see Him or her. Cannot see the divine, he and she, cannot touch them, cannot directly connect, cannot feel. How can we have relationship? How can we have relationship with that supreme divine truth while we do not know how to relate, how to directly connect? The way we can perceive this objective material world and connect to. Yes. That's the reason I'm explaining. Lord Krishna says, if you truly mean to connect with me, relate with me, there are ways before you. The ways of connecting with me will be appearing before you. If you truly mean that, you have to be one of the criteria, one of the main aspects needs to connect with me, that you really want it, really mean to connect with me with all your heart and soul, lowlyam. When you are able to cultivate that, anyway, the best of your sincerity to cultivate that lowlyam, that great hankering, yearning and great hankering to connect with me, you'll start feeling, at some point, some fortunate moments, you'll simply start having the reflection, having the feel of my presence, divine energy all around you, within you, without you, in and out. You find yourself within, surrounded, embraced by my energy, and you'll also discover yourself that within yourself it's also filled with my energy. So you'll be feeling my presence within you, inside you, outside you, all over. That's the character of the feelings and realization Thakur Bhakti Vinod described in one of the songs, Atma Nivedana, Tua Pade Kori Hoinu Parama Sukhi, Amar Dukkha Dure Galo, Chinta Na Rohilo Chaudike Ananda Dekhi. You all know about this song. Everybody is here acquainted, know with this song. One of the most beautiful songs. That after having myself lovingly surrendered, after being wholeheartedly surrendered to your lotus feet, to you, my beloved Lord, with all my heart, now I can directly taste and realize that kind of happiness, transcendental happiness all around me. All my sadness and sorrows due to all my shortcomings for living on the material plane of existence, shortcomings caused by living on this material plane of existence, all are vanished now. So all my sorrows and sadness caused by the limitations of this material plane of existence now vanished, went away. I see a divine happiness. I see and feel and taste divine happiness, joy all over, all around me, whichever direction I look at. Whichever direction I look at, I feel, I'm simply visioning, I'm simply having the vision, divine vision of transcendental joy of yours, transcendental happiness and joy all around. There is no tinge of sadness, or the joy of fulfillment, so much joy of nectarine fulfillment. And it is your joy, my Lord, I know. It cannot but coming from you. Nectarine joy, nectarine fulfillment, coming from you, revealed from your consciousness. I simply see and feel the divine, the energy of divine bliss, divine ecstasy of you all around me, everywhere. Whatever I connect, whatever I look at. This is called transcendental vision of this universal form of the Lord. No more. There's no more relating all around, no more connecting all around in a just casual, materially, mundanely limited way. Okay. Like a frog relating to a lotus flower, staying very close, just underneath the water, but cannot really relate to the water. Whereas the bumblebees, honeybees, traveling from far, coming, sitting on the lotus flower, tasting collecting the flower honey, collecting the lotus flower honey, sitting on it, feeling, coming in contact with the soothing touch of the lotus flower, its fragrance, collecting the flower nectar. They are making the real connection of the lotus flower. Not a frog, just staying nearby, just underneath the water. So we cannot relate to the universal form of the Supreme Lord in a frog-like way, but bumblebee, honeybees-like way. Honeybees also limited example, but I am just quoting this example just to give you all an idea. And then when we have a real appreciator, a connoisseur, a real appreciator of the flower, beauty and nectar, lotus, when you hold a lotus in your hand, then you can see, feel the soothing touch, smell the fragrance of lotus flower. And even you can collect some flower nectar from inside. Feel the soothing, fragrant touch of the lotus flower all over your mouth, face, head. Okay. Taste its flower nectar. And just when you're becoming a great poet, when you're becoming a subjective connoisseur, a subjective lover, poetic subjective lover of how to love lotus flower, how to appreciate its beauty, then only one can appreciate that relatively in full way. But in case of that, instead of that, it's some just just some power. If so happens, just some ordinary person was seeing some lotus in the pond, just picking up, lotus flower, and throws away. Okay, I have seen many times. He doesn't get anything. Doesn't get anything. So there are many such examples. Big romantics, high-class romantic poets, high-class scientists, high-class spiritualists, they can relate to many things in this same world in high-class, more higher, subtle way ordinary people cannot do. Although the ordinary people, common people, are seeing, connecting to the same objects. See, light, air, water, stone, objects. Sky, okay, moonlit night, sunlit day, moonlit night, ocean, majestic beauties of the ocean, Himalayas, mountain, okay. When ordinary people are relating to them, they are relating casually. Okay, I have seen. I am born and brought up here. I have seen. What is the big deal with all this? But when a great poet or great scientist or great spiritualists, they are relating to the same thing with their specific, their special interests, special views, they are actually connecting to them much more than how some ordinary people are connecting in just casual, limited way. They don't even understand that missing so much. Missing so much. So it doesn't need to be further explained more analytically, it will take time. See, when a poet standing before the ocean, especially standing before the ocean in moonlit night, looking at the waves of the beautiful ocean glittering with the moon's reflection, moonbeam on it, a poet can get so much, can taste so much from that. But an ordinary fisherman, every day fishing, going out in the ocean only for fishing purpose, they are seeing the same thing, cannot relate to it. What a poet can relate to. A poet can get so much taste from that, enjoying that divinely romantic, divinely beautiful, universal beauty. That ordinary fisherman cannot do. Seeing the same thing. Okay, traveling through the same ocean, cannot relate. A stone in the hand of ordinary people, a stone. In the hand of a scientist, not just a stone. So much there in the world of stone to analyze. Other things also to the scientist when they look at. I'm not talking all this to glorify material scientists, but they are still after discoveries of deeper truth and higher truth. At some point, when the material scientists also become more open-minded, open-hearted, they cannot but become spiritual scientists. They have to, they have no other way out. They have no other choice, but they have to reach that. Meet that goal, because that's the reality. If they really mean to discover realities more and more through different layers, different levels, at some point they cannot but have to reach divine goal, which is the source of even all the objective realities, all universal realities. So, therefore some of the scientists are also theists. They have got theistic nature in their own ways. In their own ways. And we are dealing with the super science. Jnanam, Vijnanam, Prajnanam. We are dealing with not only with knowledge, not only with Vijnanam, Vishesha special knowledges, but Prajnanam. These are the terms from the Holy Scriptures. Pragyana Leela Puram. Srila Guru Maharaj used this term in connection of the explanation of Gayatri, Brahma Gayatri Vakya. The universe filled with pragyanam, realized knowledge. Realized knowledge. No, much more than intellectual knowledge. Realized knowledge with realized taste. Much more than intellectual, dry, intellectual, calculative knowledge. Above jnana-sunya. This is jnana-sunya bhakti level. Beyond the materially limited intellectual knowledge. That's the level of the jnana-sunya. Although it is said, devoid of knowledge, the level devoid of knowledge means material limited knowledge. Devoid of limited material knowledge, but it means filled of transcendental knowledge. Like the way we describe nirguna. Nirguna means devoid of all gunas, devoid of all qualifications, literally means, but it doesn't mean that way. It means beyond all these limited qualities. Like the way we use the term invaluable. Invaluable doesn't mean, not valuable. Beyond measured values. Priceless. Does it mean priceless? No price. Valueless? No. Something so price-worthy, we cannot even pay that price. It is so highly price-worthy. So we use, in the same way Mahaprabhu also used jnana-sunya level. Like in the way of priceless. Jnana-sunya means devoid of limited calculative material knowledge that cannot really connect with Krishna beyond that. In that sense. Meaning, it's filled with transcendental knowledge. Transcendental Krishna consciousness. Devotional Krishna consciousness. Loving devotional Krishna consciousness with so much ambrosial taste. Beyond limits of calculative intellectual knowledge. That is Jnana-sunya criteria. Then Mahaprabhu says, Ehohoi. Recognize Ehohoi. Yes, it is. Go further. Go deeper. See, I'm branching out in many ways. There's so many innumerable aspects to explain realities of Krishna consciousness. Now back to the point of how to relate to the universal form of the God. We started from there. So, because I raised the questions to answer this, that we cannot easily relate to Krishna, cannot connect to Krishna, we cannot see Him, feel Him, touch Him. How can we have relation with Him, the divine He and divine She, whom we cannot perceive, we cannot feel anything. In order to have relationship with, I have to make connection. So to answer in that, one of the prominent, easy and practical ways to feel Krishna, feel Srimati Radharani through the universal form around us, which you can directly perceive as just, and just imagine, just try to feel into the reality. See, it's huge, highly huge, this universal creation going on every second. So much wonderful mystery, in the most wonderful, mysterious way, mystical ways, which is containing billions of galaxies, accommodating billions of galaxies in this whole huge, unlimited universe, cosmic existence, in which we are just simply a smallest part in that. So we are surrounded, we are embraced within that. Even our life is also coming from that. Sisti Sthiti Layam, all coming from that root. Creations, maintenance, the functions of creations, maintenance and annihilations. Again, in a cyclic wave, creation, maintenance, annihilations, again, creation, maintenance, annihilation, all going on cyclic wave every second, every moment in this whole huge universe. Okay? A huge, mystical, mysterious, wonderful energy of Krishna, which we can directly perceive. But we have to perceive them, relate to them, and tune in Krishna consciousness. Instead of just casual, limited manner. We have to relate to such a universal form of Krishna in spiritual way. Just as a poet relates to the beauty and feelings of the universe, or just as a poet relates to and tastes so much the universal beauty and universal beauty and criteria, different connections, feelings, just as a scientist relates to the different levels of universal nature in different ways, more than just casual, superficial ways. And they become so delighted with newer discoveries and inventions. Okay, they're all realities. They're all bare realities, direct realities. Similar way, the higher spiritualists also directly perceive things in a similar way. And when you directly perceive Krishna's energy, mystic, waving, just flowing through the whole huge universe, you can connect to that essence, you can connect to that essential vision, inner vision, working. The unlimited, you can have the inner vision of the unlimited mysterious power. All pervading superpower is working everywhere, in and out, in different forms, different aspects. Connect to its essential nature, fundamental nature. You see Krishna. You actually see Krishna, relate to Krishna, touch Krishna. None other than that. Because they are none other than Krishna's energy. It remains material as long as we just relate to it, see it just in a limited material way. Okay. Srishti Sthiti Layam, birth, maintenance, death, functions of birth, maintenance, death. This mortal aspect of this universal creation is called material. That's what creates limitations, which is something which is some aspects of this world which is mortal, every time dying, temporal, mortal, changing. That is the material thing. But as soon as we see some flow of the essence, essential flow of Krishna's energy underlying, in the depth, behind, even this whole huge material universe, that is not material, that is spiritual, completely spiritual, transcendental to the material nature, completely transcendental to the material mortal nature of this universe. That's how the Uttamadhikari devotees, Mahabhagavata devotees, relate to the universal form of the Supreme Lord. By essence, by essential character, beyond, surpassing material limitations. And they see great, they see the eternal, glorious, great presence, intense presence of Krishna and Krishna's energy all through this apparently material universe, all through the huge, unlimited, cosmic energy form of Krishna. They not only relate in impersonal way, energy form, but also they can relate in personal energy form. Personal energy form of Krishna. We can also sense, relate to the conception of personality, not only impersonal way, but also not only impersonal energy form, but also personal way. Suppose, to give you some idea, suppose when you are looking at someone loved by you, you are relating to someone near and dear to you, any person, such person, and you are relating and directly feeling about him, means perceiving about him or her. Some part of it objective, but other parts are of subjective nature, of that feeling, that relation. When we conceive of our emotion, when we conceive of our thought process, faculty of thinking, feeling, willing, we conceive of our emotional feelings in different sense, emotional feelings. What are they? Are they like something objective we touch, we taste on tongue, and we directly connect like we do with an object? No. But still they are very, very valuable and very great realities. So we can relate to a person in objectively perceivable way, also subjectively perceivable way. A material, tangible, objective way, like touching him, embracing him or her, directly feeding him, or in that direct way, also feeling, relating to the same person through emotion, through mutual feelings of each other. So our personal way of feeling, relating to a person, is that of objective as well as subjective nature. That of somewhat impersonal, personal and impersonal nature. So energy can also be felt in impersonal way as well as personal way. Why not? When we relate to a person with all our personal emotions, it's an energy, we relate through energy form of our emotions, bhava form. Is not right like any direct material object type. But even through the bhava form we relate personally. We cannot say we are relating impersonally, because there cannot be real impersonal relation. Has to be personally done. So personal way of relation can also be done, can also manifest through impersonal energy form. This mixture, just as our emotion, beautiful emotions. So, why I'm explaining all these things in detail? Because we have got certain conception. Relating to the universal form of Lord is more like impersonal energy form. We may not be able to relate to the Lord through such a universal form in a personal way. No, that is a general idea. That's a general conception. But the way Mahabhagavata Uttamadhikari devotees relate to Krishna, relate to Sri Krishna Srimati Radhika through this universal form, none other than their own energy. They do it personal way also. They see Leela. They actually conceive of the Leela, have the vision of the Leela all around, piercing through their piercing vision like X-ray. They don't see the apparent, superficial, surfacial, objective, material, universal things. They, with the piercing vision, deeper vision, they see Krishna Leela, Radha Krishna Leela, throughout this whole huge universal form. That's why Lord Krishna says, Yomang Pashyati Sarvat. Otherwise, there will be no meaning of such verses. Yomang Pashyati Sarvat. Sarvancha Mai Pashyati. Tasyahang na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. That way. So much to understand. And that's why the definition of Mahabhagavata, Sarva Bhuteshu Jah Pasyet, Bhagavat Bhavam Atmano, Bhutani Bhagavatya Nesha Bhagavatottama. The definition of Mahabhagavata. There are definitions of Kanishthadhikari, Madhyamadhikari and Uttamadhikari. You all can remember. So, the definition of Mahabhagavatam is that Sarva Bhuteshu Jah Pasyet, Bhagavat Bhavam Atmana, Bhutani Bhagavattatman Nesha Bhagavatottama. I am not going into the further details explanation of this verse. It is very closely connected with what so long I was explaining. Sarvatra Krishner Murti Kare Jhalamal, Je Dekhite Pai Tar Akhi Niramal. So, that's how the Mahabhagavata devotees see, feel, directly relate to Radha Krishna's presence all around, directly, personally, no impersonally, personally, according to their individual tastes. Individual taste, some part of which taste is of stagnant, eternal nature, and some other aspects are of dynamic nature. Navayoman nature. Manifesting, the taste manifests new to newer, newest way in relation to the infinite possibilities of the taste, infinite scope of the taste of Krishna Leela, never limited. So, both aspects are there. Both aspects of the flows are there through Achinta Veda Veda. Achinta Veda Veda principle. May appear to be paradoxical or self-contradictory, but it's not that. It appears to be, sometimes may appear to be paradoxical, self-contradictory because of our limited ability of our judgment, limited ability of our knowledge, thought process. But while we are not judging anything anymore with thought process, we can just realize, like the following in the footsteps of Mahabhagavata, we can just simply realize the way it is. Just simply receive the revelation and realize the way it is. Much beyond any limited calculative methods of our knowledge, thought process. Then we can connect to the infinite as it is. Then it happens. As soon as we go to understand the same reality through our calculative knowledge, we lose so much. We cannot do it. Everything gets limited at that time. But as we are relating to it, the revelation as it is appearing, revealed, so then we can connect to its infinite nature. That's what Mahabhagavatas do. They see Lord in them, within them, without them. In them, in their existence, outside their existence. They see themselves completely, they see themselves as filled with Krishna's energy within them and also embraced with the same energy outside. See, what a wonderfully mystical, what a wonderfully transcendentally mystical vision and feelings it is. In and out, everywhere. They directly feel Govinda. Tomar Hridaya Sada Govinda Visram. Govinda is filling my whole existence inside me. The soul, super soul, I am filled in. And I am also filled with same Govinda's existence outside me. Living within that, fully embraced. So much so, sometimes it creates the feelings of their union with the Supreme Beloved Lord, union between them and Supreme Beloved Lord in transcendental oneness, devotional oneness. This is Shuddha Advaita Jnana, not Mayavadi type of Advaita conception, but impersonal type of impersonal conception of Advaita Jnana. But this Advaita Jnana is filled with personal, completely personally, intimately beloved conception of the union with the Supreme Beloved Divine, Supreme Beloved Divine. The extreme personal union in intimate love with the Supreme Beloved. That is also Advaita Jnana. Advaita Jnana Bhajendra Nandan. So we also follow Advaita Jnana. Advaita Jnana Bhajendra Nandana Tattva. But our conception of Advaita Jnana is Shuddha, pure. Opposed to Mayavadi type of conception. They also say Advaitavadi, Advaya, Nanduar. Okay. They only flow with the impersonal type of Advaita, Advaita Jnana. And they don't want to be loving servitor, they don't want to cultivate relationship with the Supreme Beloved Lord as loving servitor. They want to directly occupy the throne of the Lord. Why should I be servitor? I can become God. I myself am God, aham brahmasmi. So I am God. Actually I am God. I don't even need to become. But so for some reason I got illusion. I forgot that I am God. So now first of all we question, how can Supreme God, if you are real God, how can you forget? How can you be deluded? How could you forget that you are God? Then you have to rediscover. Your ability is so limited. How can it happen? It is self-contradictory. You make the conception of Supreme Almighty God as laughing stock because you say, I forgot that I am God. I was God. Therefore I was illusionized, deluded. And now I remember, so now I came back, I am Brahmasmi, I am Brahma, I am God. No. So, because they think, why do I have to be servited to God? I am God. So they want to directly occupy the throne of God as I am God, so on. Okay. Then they think, okay, so I become one with God. I became God. And that is Sajujya Mukti kind. It is suicidal. Our Guru Varga explained, that's your imagination, that's how you feel, that's your false, it can be your false imagination that you become completely absorbed in the energy of the God and you became God. You are completely mixed and absorbed within the energy of God, you became God. Number one is your false imagination. Or you can say in a different word, it can be your false imagination, illusory imagination is not happening in reality. And number two, even if it happens in reality, I repeat, even that happens in reality, then what happens, you are simply diluted, just simply dissolved in the infinite energy of the God. God remains as God, you no more remain. Where are you? That is a suicide. Pure devotees of Krishna never wants to commit suicide. They don't want to lose their own individual identity and self, because they want to fully have that in order to taste their love relationship with Krishna, in order to have the ambrosial experience, invaluable, priceless ambrosial experience, to have the love relationship with the Supreme Beloved Divine, instead of getting one's own individual identity diluted, completely diluted. So again I repeat. Secondly, when it becomes true that they really merge, they really absorbed in the energy of the God, totally mixed with the Parang Brahma, and they become Brahmasmi in that way. How to say? Nirbishesha. When they are absorbed in the unlimited energy of the Nirbishesha impersonal energy of the Parang Brahma, then although they think, although he thought I became God, but the fact is that he became completely diluted and dissolved in God. Thereafter God remained, he no more remained. And that's why devotees never, they maintain a great distance from Sayujya Mukti. Naraka vanchaye tabu Sayujya nacha. They don't want to go to hell. Just poetically said like that. You don't have to take in a literal sense. Although it is a kind of mukti, but it's the mukti of total dissolution of one's own self. And thereafter no more remains. So they consider it a total, it's complete suicidal thing. They're committing a complete suicide. Maybe in eternity, unless Lord Krishna even wants to remanifest my identity from within, it will be eternal suicide. Okay. Krishna remains as Krishna, God remains as God. I am no more there. So therefore, it's said, poetically said, Naraka vanchaye tabu sajujya nachai. See, I am branching out. See, each and every point needs to further explanations for clarity of the Siddhanta. So this came in connection with personal way of impersonal. How to personally relate to the Supreme Lord through universal form, which is very tangible. Or Advaya Jnana. It came in relation to the Advaya Jnana, that we also follow Advaya Jnana, but a pure divine character which is filled with the personal conception of relation, having personal ambrosial relationship with Krishna, Radhika. Personal, ambrosially personal way, not Mayavadi type of impersonal energy way. And that's how the Mahabhagavata devotees relate to the Supreme Divine, Supreme Beloved Lord Krishna through his universal form, in a personal way. Not just impersonal energy form. Impersonal energy form of realization is there. They also realize Krishna in impersonal energy form, way, also deeply personal way, because they directly see, feel, have the vision of certain dimensions or many aspects or many dimensions of Krishna Leela, Radha Krishna Leela, which is playing at the background in the whole universal creation, underneath, at the background, or on its own transcendental identity, on its transcendental dimension, more than just material dimension. That is very limited. There are different dimensions of the realization about the same truth. We generally can only relate to the only material dimension, one aspect of this whole universal form of the God. And there goes things wrong. We only relate in a material way, all material. But they are so much deeper than this and much higher than this. so much realities deeper than so-called only limited material concept of the universal form, and transcendental to that also, much higher than that. Mahabhagavatas relate to that actual, original conception of Lord's energy, Lord's Leela, through their transcendental vision. And therefore, we find such type of verses. Beautiful definition, Sarva Bhuteshu Yah Pasyet. Sarva Bhuteshu. In all these surroundings, all around, Sarva Bhuteshu Yah Pasyet. One who sees and feels the presence of Krishna and Krishna Leela all around, in and out. Pasyet Bhagavat, Krishna, Bhagavat. Pasyet Bhagavad Bhavam Atmana, and become fulfilled with the Bhagavad Bhava. He himself or she herself becomes completely fulfilled with the same Bhagavad Bhava. Fulfill how? In and out. Because his existence also becoming mixed with, through the intimate relationship, close relationship, to relate to Krishna through universal form. He also feels that I am also becoming one with that. It's a union, experience of union with Krishna through such taste. So, therefore, he sees, he discovers himself, he or she discovers himself or herself, that I am fulfilled by Krishna, Krishna's energy, Krishna's Leela, outside and inside. I am covered and embraced by that. Oh, within and without. I am living within that. And that is also fully living within me. Same Govinda living within me. And the next moment, simultaneously I am also discovering Govinda living within me and I am living within Govinda. Both ways, achinta bheda bheda. Through achinta bheda bheda. And they have such wonderful unlimited experience in Shuddha Daya Jnana, in pure devotional, pure devotional, non-dual feelings, non-dual character of realization about Krishna, Krishna consciousness, full-fledged Krishna consciousness, full-fledged Krishna consciousness in oneness, that of pure devotional, non-dual nature, pure devotional oneness character. Advaya Jnana Bhajan Nandana Tattva. Sarva Bhutesu Yash Pasyet Bhagavad Bhavam Atmana Bhutani Bhagavat Atman Nesha Bhagavatottama. Sees Krishna's presence within him, outside him. And whatever he looks at, relates at, in whole surroundings, Bhutani Bhagavatya, see the whole surroundings one with Krishna, Krishna one with the whole surroundings through energy form. Esha Bhagavata. He is the Mahabhagavata. So, also that verse, Jomam Pashyati Sarvatra, Sarvancha Mai Pashyati, that one. Also relating directly to Uttamadhikari, Bhisham, Mahabhagavata Bhisham. So, as soon as we are successful to connect to that frequency, that huge transcendental frequency of relating to Krishna through Krishna's energy of the universal form, following in the footsteps of the Mahabhagavata. When we keep on trying to cultivate that aspect, at some point we can see, feel, realize Krishna while we are here on this earthly plane. It is possible. Then we will no more have complaint. Before even leaving our material body, while we are still living, we can, time to time, we can have the visions of the Mahabhagavata. Some glimpse of revelation, time to time, because it is so valuable, it won't be continuously staying with us on this plane, except for exceptional cases. But at most fortunate moments, we can receive some revelations, like the way Mahabhagavata does, if we sincerely, devotedly be cultivating, keep on trying with yearning, following the footsteps of Mahabhagavata, cultivating our life of Krishna consciousness. So, then what to speak more after we leave the material body? We are liberated, we directly go to Krishna Loka, divine abode of Krishna. So, thus, with such realizations, we cannot be always complaining, Krishna is too high, he is too high, it is definitely very true, but he is too high, too far, but he is also living with me so near. Tad dure cha tadandike. Krishna is too far, but at the same time, he is too near. Described in the verse of Ishopanishad. Tad dure tad antike. Because he is living within me as my soul and super soul. I am not, my life cannot be without Krishna's energy. Okay, so So, are you okay, or you can be given a chair? Do you want a chair?
Something is because it's cold. I can stand on the side there. Stand.
You can come to this side, and this is okay. This is standing way. এখানে কেউ আছে? এখানে একটা চেয়ার মধ্যে একটু অসুবিধা হচ্ছে। Some question may arise, a very relevant question may arise in this regard. How do Mahabhagavat devotees relate to evil happenings? Many evil happenings, evil things on the same material universe, which is involved with killing, cruelty, so much violence. Okay. The way Mahabhagavata devotees relate to it, they relate to it as annaya vyatireka bham, that there is some purpose for all these evil happenings or destructive happenings in order to educate us through comparative experience. If there is no bad, we cannot truly understand the value of the good. If we don't taste the bitter, we cannot highly appreciate the taste of sweetness. So, bitterness, sweetness, darkness and light. So, bad and good, good and bad. So, from the overall vision, from the ultimate vision, the entity of good and bad both are found in the universal creation, this universe, for a purpose to educate us, to give us some comparative experience about our life. It's not there just for nothing. It has a purpose behind it. And number one. Number two, evil things happen because of, as a reaction of some evil deed. It doesn't happen on its own all the time. It also follows cause and effect. So something evil happening is not being directly directed by the will of the Lord. Never. It's not actually directed by the active will of the Lord. But it's all happening caused by the laws of karma. There are action and reaction to the cause and effect. Supreme Lord and His will is not directly involved with all these so-called good and so-called bad. It's like automatically programmed in the computer. It's automatically programmed in the universal software. Things are going on, being run by the software program. If you do good, good things will come. If you do bad, bad reaction will come. But the creator of the software program is not directly involved to it. Understand? Subtle thing to understand. Many people think, oh, why God is directing them, God is causing all this happening. It's not that. So it is just auto-set in the universal program through the laws of karma, through actions and reactions, chains of actions and reactions. Krishna says, Nakatittam nakarmanam lokasya srijati prabhu. Therefore he says, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagata bhakta murtina mastani sarvabhutani nachaham te savastita nacha mastani bhutani pashyame yogamaisaram. Even though I am Supreme Creator, even though nothing can be validated in the universal creation without my energy, still I am not directly involved. I am not directly attached and involved and incorporated with that. He says that to clarify, try to understand my wonderfully mystical position in a high-class yogic conception. Pashyame yogamaisaram. Try to understand the nature of my position and nature of my relationship with the material universe in a wonderfully, mystically, almost inconceivably wonderful way. That even though things are validated by my energy yet, I am not obliged to be controlled by energy, material energy. I am not directly attached, involved with that. I've got nothing to do with all this. Nachamasthani bhutani. Pashyame yogamaisaram. Nachamasthani bhutani, I have got nothing to do. All these material things have got directly nothing to do with my real self. I say, achinta bheda bheda. It's very meaningful. Back to the point that all these so-called good and bad things happening on the plane of the material world, universe, although indirectly, passively allowed by Krishna's energy, validated by Krishna's energy, passive way, but it's never actively directed by Krishna. Like I often give the examples, our Guru Babu gave examples, like I gave one example, it's like a program of the software, a software program already uploaded in computer. So now computer is dealing accordingly, everything is being taken care of by the software program of the computer. Creator is not directly getting involved, whatever is being done by the program. We cannot accuse creator, why did you create software program, then bad things happening, misuse happening. Also proper use also could not happen. This is all created, meant for proper use, not for misuse. When somebody is misusing, it's his fault, his responsibility, because free will is given. You are endowed with free will, meant for misuse. Just as God has given us lungs, not to smoke, not to enter smoke, tobacco smoke, but for oxygen, to breathe in the oxygen, having pranic energy. not for misusing, for taking smoke. Lord has given us nose, not to take brown sugar in this way, but to breathe in the fresh energy, pranic energy from the air. Breathe in, breathe out. Lord has given us intelligence for proper use, not for making misuse. Everything. Lord has given us hands, to save life, not to kill anyone. Okay. So, Lord has given us life to live it positively, in mode of goodness, positively, happily. Okay? Not to be living in a tamasic, dead-like way. Not to be living in a tamasic, sick way, but healthy way. That's the meaning. So when bad things happening, when bad things and evil things happening due to the misuse, then those people and those elements which are causing that evil things to happen, bad things to happen, that is responsible, not the Supreme Lord. Although that computer software is validated by a creator, although all the money, notes, I often give this example, the bucks we use, notes, is signed by the governor. Without the signature of Reserve Bank governor or government, it will not be valid. But we cannot hold that governor of Reserve Bank responsible. Oh, many criminals are misusing the money in some evil way for killing and doing evil things. So you are responsible. Why did you validate the money? We cannot hold it responsible because money is created to sustain, to positively take care of our life, nicely to sustain life, not to kill life. Okay? But money cannot be validated without the governmental signature, a governmental authority. But because while criminals are misusing money, we cannot accuse that Reserve Bank, the governor of the Reserve Bank whose signature is validating the money, or any high class or the president of a country. Well, you are responsible. Why did you create money? Why did you made signature? Because you made the signature, it was validated, therefore it could be misused. So you are responsible. No, we cannot do that because his signature for proper use. For to use it in a constructive way, not for destructions. Okay. So similarly, Supreme God has created our life. He gave us intelligence, our head, eyes, nose, all the sense organs, overall our life for proper use, for utility. Ultimately in relation to Krishna. Okay, not for making misuse in a rajasic, tamasic way. Endowed, and He created us endowed with free will, because without free will, then we become totally controlled. Love for God is not possible. Genuine love for God the genuine love for God, genuine loving devotion for God can never be possible without having free will, because it is done on its own accord. Feelings of love, feelings of relationship with the Supreme God manifest in a normal, on its own accord. It's not directly controlled by God. Then He is doing everything what we are doing. Then real love, real feelings of love, loving devotion for God is not possible if that is also controlled by Lord. He can grace, but that is actually created by our own will, from our utilizing our own sweet will, free will. I love Krishna so much. I love Krishna so much, love Radhika so much. I love to be Sarvita. That will only be possible because of our existence of free will. Suppose we do not have any free will, then it will all be mechanically controlled by Krishna's will. Who will love him, who will not love him. Okay? So it will not be any spontaneous self-love. How to say? It will not be like some love for Krishna, love taste for Krishna, which is being created, generated in a spontaneous way from one's own heart. Because there is no free will, all mechanically controlled. So everyone has to be, or living being has to be endowed with free will. Question may arise, why Krishna created us with free will? He might not have created us with free will. It would be a better idea for Krishna not to create us with free will, because there is so much chances of misuse. Then, from the greater scenario, from the greater picture, things would become more mechanical, mechanically controlled, like a robot. A robot, these days, the advanced technology, AI robots are there. They're very close to human beings sometimes, but still they're robots. So it become like robots. Just become like some close to human life robots without proper free will, and Lord Krishna didn't want to do that. Although there are scopes, there are risks for misusing free will. Okay? Although there are risks for misusing free will and bring the bad result, invite the bad results, outcome from that. But therefore we cannot deny the other side, that there is a great side of the positive use, utility of the same free will, which can invite so much good wealth in our life in relation to Krishna. See, it's like that. If somebody says, oh, we have got body, time to time we get sick, better we die, we leave body. Better we don't live our life. No. We should live. Krishna has given us a body, though for temporary time on this material world, for a purpose. For a certain purpose of having some experience. Okay. So, I need to take care of this body in relation to Krishna. I need to take care of the health nicely in relation to Krishna, in the interest of Krishna's service. That is the real utility. Okay. Cannot say, oh, because I am getting sick time to time, I just want to give up the body. I just want to commit suicide. Okay. This is example of misuse of the free will. Sorry. Yes, misuse. So, because, I repeat, because time to time we get little sick in the body, so there is no real reason or think that we should leave this body. Rather, we should have this body in a healthy way, enjoy the health and utilize it, whole bodily existence, for higher purpose in the service of Krishna. That is the proper use. But, oh, I just want to give up the body and commit suicide. That is total misuse. So we cannot accuse Krishna, why did you give us life with a body? Better we would not be in existence at all. Rather we should remain grateful. Rather we should remain fully grateful. Should be full of gratitude that we have received this life with a body of material nature, because this is not Krishna Loka. This is not divine plane, mundane plane. Due to the certain effects of the karma, law of karma, we are born. We are born and brought up here. But there is a lot of utility. Besides the risks and facts of having painful experience, and also a lot of great scope of having pleasant experiences, healthy experiences. It's a vast world compared to negative experience. The world of positive experience also so vast, huge, compared to world of negative experience. So let us be more and more associated. Let us be more and more associated, more and more connected with the world of positive energy, positive life, and avoiding the association of the world of negative, evil energy. That will be the intelligent decision. So, back to the point. So we cannot directly accuse Krishna for all these negative or evil happenings on the mundane plane. Rather, we are responsible. Krishna has given us intelligence, this brain, for utility, to do good to society, for doing good to the society, for helping the society thrive further, not making it criminalized, okay, not to misuse the intelligence in a criminal way and causing destructions and killings and all this. Okay. I often give example. Knife in the hands of doctors and knife in the hands of gundas. One is saving life, another killing life. Both are holding knives in the hand. The same knife in the hand can save a life through process of surgery when it is utilized, and same knife can kill. So there is no fault with the knife or with the hand or with holding the knife. But the faults are there. See, the question is there. Question is arising around proper use of that knife and misuse. There is no fault with the metal, or iron metal or steel metal which the knife is made of. No fault with the hands, that we can hold knife in the hand. Okay, not. Where is the real fault? Misuse. That's the fault. And so Krishna always says throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita, or at least overall, in a certain way throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita, or in a very specific particular way, at least through certain chapters of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna always says, is one of his main messages, okay, be sattvic. Live your life in the mode of goodness. Never live your life in the mode of sinful ignorance, sinful passion or ignorance. Become your friend, never become your enemy. Uddhared atmanatmano, natmanam avasadayit, atmaiva jhatmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratman. Save yourself. You save yourself, become the best friend of yourself, never become your enemy. We always be living life in the mode of goodness. The chapters he already divided, made the divisions, sattik, rajasic, tamasic. Food-wise, see, he made clear divisions in regard to our lifestyle, different aspects of our lifestyle, as sattik, rajasic, tamasic, everything. Telling us, be living your life in a sattik way. Please don't be living in a tamasic, sinful, tamasic way, rajasic, tamasic way. Be good, be doing good, don't be doing bad. Even when you fight righteous war for truth and justice, war against evil to protect the good, the battle or war to protect the good against evil, do it with a sense of holy duty, just to be protecting the good against the evil, but don't get involved in war mentality. That's to be marked. Don't get involved with your battle-like, war-like mentality with a lot of anger and hatred and cruelty. Then you become involved. You just do it for the sake of doing duty. Doing your duty. Arjun, you become Arjun, you become a holy warrior completely in a sadhu-like way with full detachment. Okay, with your personal detachment, just do it as for the sake of doing your duty, without your personal anger or hatred or revenging temperament. If you have those, then you get involved. with some sins of the world. But when you are doing it just as for the sake of the holy duty to protect the good against the evil, then that becomes a righteous act. It will become a virtuous act, because you are simply playing the role of a surgeon, like a big doctor, doing surgery, surgery involving a lot of cutting and blood, and it appears to be very cruel. Ultimately, it is meant to save the life. So you be engaged in holy war like that. Krishna did not give the example of a surgeon I am giving for explaining that very clearly. Okay? So the kind of war, Dharma Yuddha, Krishna wanted Arjuna to engage in is like a surgeon, to save a life. Save a life. So, if you follow the instructions of Krishna, then there will be no evil things. Those all evil happenings will be reduced and they can disappear. But the fact is that we don't follow because of our free will. Because of our independent nature, we don't follow the instructions of Krishna. Guidance of Krishna. And we do things opposite, in many ways we do things opposite way. Misusing our free will, and then we invite troubles, evil things, and then we accuse Krishna. In one hand, we won't listen to Krishna, we won't be following. He's guiding, we won't be accepting. On the other hand, easy way, because He is Supreme Lord, we can just straightly accuse Him. What you are doing, He is not doing. He says you are doing. You change, everything will be changed. And of course, for the natural calamity question may arise, that is something else. Just as when we have got body, our life, sometimes sickness comes. Calamity also required. In order to lighten the burden of Mother Earth, in order to be lightening or reducing the burden of the Mother Earth, earthly creations or other planets, some natural calamities come to set right the things, to redo certain aspects of the creation, reorganizing. So death is not necessarily bad. Okay. When we see the death, it's just bad. It's a very limited material vision. But death causes further birth, a new life. It's like giving up some old body which is no more valid for using. Okay, it became so old, incapable, cannot be used very nice way, energetically. So leave the old and get the new one. So unless we die with the old material body, we cannot have the chance of another new life, with the newer body, newer youthful energy and all this. So it has utility, it has a purpose. In the death also has, annihilation has got a purpose. It's not necessarily evil. Sometimes we look at it in an evil way, define it to be evil. That is our limited vision. See, what we scientifically see, when a human body dies, immediately so many other bacteria and other living beings immediately start coming up, taking birth through fermentation, through process of fermentation in that body. In one aspect it's a dead body. From the other dimension, from other aspects, from other dynamics, we see many living beings are taking birth. It has started from the very moment of the death. Main soul left, process of fermentation starting from the very moment. And process of fermentation of the body means is giving birth to other beings. It is giving birth to other kind of living beings in the form of bacteria or virus, or even we see insects. If it is allowed to be fermented more, many insects are born there and they are living happily. Happily they start living their life, taking birth, having their family life there, and again dying in that. Again further in the further level, another group, another batch of insects coming up. Bacteria, viruses. Again they are having their family life for a while, and again dying, another group coming, batch coming up. So the chains of the creation, laws of creation, chains of the universal creation is so designed. Okay. So long you lived your life, now it is a time for you to leave the place, vacate the place for others to come. So, often I give examples. Can you imagine? If none of us never died from the beginning of creation, what would happen today? Nobody could live. There will be no little space, not even a smallest space to live on this earth. It will be overcrowded. And people would be fighting, okay, more than ferocious animals. They will be fighting with each other for food, drinking water, all this, because too many. What would be that? That would be another evil scene. So it is good, better idea, because the death is arranged for the overall, for the sake of overall good of this earthly, of this mundane world, to go on. So it's keeping a balance. Death is good idea for keeping a balance. For the other people, for the other living beings to come here, live their life and take leave, and then other batches are coming. So Krishna is also becoming judicious, accommodating and judicious in this way. We cannot accuse Krishna, why you did not create me on this plane as immortal and as eternal being. Krishna says, you come to me. That's why I have got your place in my abode for that nature. For that purpose, for that nature, my abode is there, infinite. Infinite scope, with unlimited scope and unlimited satisfaction, happiness. But this mundane world is created in such a way, compared to my divine abode. This is created in the first place in such a way that it will be of mundane nature. It will be of mundane mortal nature. It will be the plane. It is the plane of exploitation. In the language of Guru Maharaj, he says, land of exploitation. It's not the land of pure devotion. Land of exploitation. Our Guru Maharaj also explained our final aim, final program is rather to get out of this and go to the divine abode of Krishna. Not to be living here permanently, because it's not very ideal plane. Mundane plane of existence, not very ideal plane for living a very ideal happy life. Ideally happy life. So our final program is to get out of this plane and go to the Krishna Loka, divine abode. It makes the difference. Yeah, what is your question? Something you
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much. Please accept my pranams. Maharaj, you were mentioning about Krishna's involvement, passive and active. So sometimes even in the Bhagavatam, Krishna says to Yudhishthira that yasyaham anugrahanami. If I give someone some special mercy, then they have to go through all these things. And then, as per the law of karma also, you have to suffer. So there's two types of suffering, as you mentioned. So sometimes when we go through some form of suffering, how do we understand whether we are going through the passive or active?
Very good question. What Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yashaham anugrinnami harishettat dhaneshwai. That is only applied in case of Krishna devotees, not other ordinary common karmi, not other non-Krishna conscious non-devotees. Okay? So, when such way is happening in the lives of the devotees of Krishna, that is the first criteria to understand. Okay, it is happening by the active will of Krishna, or being allowed or validated by active will of Krishna happening. No, for what? To make him or her as elite commando. It's an elite commando training. It's nothing but Krishna wants to make that devotee as more strong, stronger, more powerful, faced with some painful experiences like elite commando training. The final aim of the elite commando training is not to afflict so much, afflict that person, cause so much pains. It is painstaking training, but to ultimately make him more powerful, stronger, for a higher purpose, so that he can be saving many more lives during the emergency time where the ordinary soldiers cannot do. They get extra, the way they are trained up, the way they get trained up, it always qualifies them with extra strength, extra power compared to the normal army. Okay. So, Yashaham Anugrihnami is like Olympic coach. I'm giving you the practical examples. Sometimes trainee is under Olympic coach. They cannot take it. They cry, they break down in tears, cannot take it, they want to give up. Same like elite commando training. They also at some point, we cannot do it, it's too much, give up. So painstaking training. But after once it is accomplished, that person becomes extra powerful, extra strong, heroic. They have heroic ability more than the ordinary people. So becomes decorated with higher qualification, blessed with higher qualities. In a similar way, such devotees who go through that kind of elite commando training set up by Krishna, tasting, making him pass through the heavy taste, and still not giving up any faith in Krishna, still having unswerving faith in Krishna, even on the face of turmoil, in the face of too much difficulties, adversities, adverse situations, still not losing faith in Krishna, maintaining the faith intact, firm faith. Then Krishna says, okay, you pass through the training. So same austere training is no more required. You already passed through and you are qualified. You are qualified for higher achievement in Krishna consciousness. So it is in order to be testing the quality of devotion, quality of faith, of devotion to Krishna, whether it is easily fragile type. The face of the taste is so fragile, it is easily breakable, or it should be more seasoned, using the term, it should be more seasoned, more strong, firm, cannot be easily broken just on the face of some taste. Okay, but still continuing with full faith in me, then at some point Krishna becomes defeated. He becomes so satisfied with that devotee, okay, it's enough, no more austere training is required for you. Okay, he intervenes and stops it. He does intervenes when he thinks, okay, the necessity for such type of austere training period for that devotee is already satisfied now, is no more there. Okay, so it can be stopped now. Now new happy phase will begin. New positive happy phase now should begin. He's already trained up now. Okay, became a commando of my Krishna conscious army, pure devotional army. Now he or she can save many fallen souls. Uttamadhikari. Became Uttamadhikari. High class. Now he is already prepared to be high class Madhyamadhikari. Then Uttamadhikari Now he will be able to save many fallen souls. If he would remain like some ordinary devotee, he could not do that. Like commandos. Work of the commandos cannot be done by others. So that's how. But it doesn't mean that verse is a specific verse meant to be used, meant to be applied in certain special, exceptional, special ways, specific ways. But that what he said through that verse is not to be applied in general. That it has to happen like that for all Krishna devotees in their lives. Okay, if Krishna becomes merciful, he will take away everything, all. He'll simply take away and move away everything, all wealth and treasure, all happiness and satisfaction, and make his life miserable in this way. It's not that. So we do not need to make any general kind of application of the meanings of such type of verse from Holy Scripture. The meanings of such type of verses are actually meant to be applied in specific cases. Everyone cannot become elite commandos, They will not be even accepted for that training. So, like Guruji gave example. In the classroom, teachers, the ideal teachers, they always mark. They keep their eye open and they mark the student. If they find some great student with great promise, specifically puts attention to that student, and sometimes even chastises that student so that he really becomes attentive for his study in a specific way. And that chastisement is ultimately meant for his higher good, so that that student doesn't become casual or comfort lover, or become lazy to become studious enough. So teacher can sometimes chastise that student. There is a care, special care in the form of chastisement, because behind that chastisement so much well-wishing is there. So behind, when Krishna's active will is putting a devotee before a test, this kind of austere test, it is actually Krishna's care in the form of austere training. And this is the truth. And therefore, such truths should be judged, should be understood with the support of other verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, as Tattvenu kampam susamiksamano bhunjano evatma kritam vipakam hridbhagvapu hirvidadhan namaste jiveto yo mukti pade or bhakti pade sadhayo bhak. Sarvabhauma Pandit changed it, Mahaprabhu released it, bhakti pade sadhayo bhak. From mukti he changed it into bhakti. Mahaprabhu appreciated it greatly. The meaning of such verses are closely, inseparably interconnected with the verse Yashaham Anugrihnami Harisheta Dhanaishanai. So understood. So, when Krishna allowing or sending such tests in the life of certain specific devotees, such strong taste, by allowing great difficulties to happen, still when the devotee continues with firm faith, without fluctuating a tinge, or without much fluctuation, I can say, overall firm faith, and talking to Krishna, relating to him, and still engaged in loving service to Krishna, still engaged in loving devotional service to Krishna with firm faith, then Krishna sees the purpose for sending that test is over. Because the quality, the standard, and the quality of the strength of devotion, power of his or her devotion already tested. It passed. Quality of devotion cannot be tested really only through if everything flows in our life, devotees' life, just happiness and happiness and happiness. The real quality of the real devotion towards Krishna is tested while we can happily make sacrifice to Krishna. When we can feel even happy and still remain completely faithful in Krishna while going through austere time period, going through sacrifice for Krishna. When we have to take some pain for the cause of Krishna, when we have to take some pains or painstaking sacrifice for the cause of Krishna, and still we remain firmly faithful to Krishna, firmly situated within Krishna consciousness with full faith, then the quality of devotion is really tested to be high class, because it is a pass-through test. Not only so, quality for testing the quality of devotion, to season it, another word, to just as we season the wood, to make it stronger, more durable. Krishna sends it. But the final goal, final result of that is so good. It is so good, so fulfilling. After that, see, after one becomes an elite commando, little difficulties appearing in life is nothing to them. But those little difficulties are so much bothering, so much, causing so much pain to the ordinary people. Because those little difficulties so much for them, because they are not seasoned, they are not prepared, they are not more powerful. But in the life of an elite commando, little day-to-day difficulties are nothing to them, because they pass through much more difficult tests compared to this little circumstantial difficulty, this and they don't care. See? So it means, so they are in a position of avoiding, not to be affected by little difficulty, so can live their life happily. Overall, they can live their life happily, even within some little difficulties what the ordinary people cannot do. So it has got a good effect also, good side. So, Yashaham Anugrinahami Harishettar. Krishna is playful Lord. It's one of the characters of his playfulness. During the process of playing with Krishna, Shakhas, Krishna, sometimes they become disturbed, having tantrum and emotional conflicts, especially those get defeated. They have to carry the shakhas of other group, the winning group, on their shoulder, and be subjugated by them, subdued by them. The other party who got defeated doesn't like that. All happening through playfulness. It's a part of the play. But the next time, the other team who got defeated, now next time that other team is winning over the team who already won before, and same thing. So it's a mixture like in a movie to enrich the taste of the play. Uttamadhikari, Mahabhagavata devotee, take all these things, the meanings and applications of the verses, such type of verses, Yashaham Anugrinami Harishettar Dhanashani, all these Mahabhagavata devotees look at it, all these part of the play, part of the overall play. Okay, temporary crying, something happy, something temporarily crying, which sacrifice, again next moment, then when you achieve some joy, when you achieve some success through sacrifices, then the success becomes so sweet. Yeah, people say, when the success is received just very easily, when success is received so easily, okay, so simple way, then we do not really understand the value of that success. We cannot really enjoy the price of that success, value of that success. But when the same success is achieved through sacrifice, through experience of failure, sacrifice, then the success achieved, then we truly understand the value of that kind of success. It can be maintained, because that person knows how to maintain that success in his life, because he has already been matured through failures, experience of failures, and he is not going to fail again. But one who just achieved the success by chance, simply when he gets the failure, he doesn't know how to have success again. So much. Then again he has to also pass through the maturity, process of maturity, through failures and things which will not work out to bring the success. Then again he becomes successful, then that success is valid. So there are purposes. So that kind of example, that kind of examples of verses are factually, ultimately, in ultimate sense of meaning, to be cruel, to be kind. To be cruel, to be kind, ultimately. Not other way around. To be kind, to be cruel. No. For our preparations. Okay. So much more to speak. What's the time?
1:20.
1:20 already. I just spontaneously also wanted to speak about ista-gosthi, the nature of ista. Maybe I can briefly speak. See, the kind of ista-gosthi we are having today is one of the main features of the Krishna Sankirtana presented by Mahaprabhu, Krishna Chaitanya Dev. Having ista-gosthi from time to time is very, very important. It's an essential part and feature of the whole Krishna Sankirtana. Engaging in hearing, thinking, and through hearing, through our discussion, through hearing and chanting the glories, speaking the glories, we also cultivate feelings, discover newer and newer feelings in the world of Siddhanta through ista-gosthi. Okay, so we become more and more enlightened, more experienced, thrive more. So therefore, ista-gosthi, meaning engaging in discussions, singing the glories and listening, and speaking the glories of their lordships, divine couple Mahaprabhu, Supreme Absolute Divine, is so beneficial for the cultivation of spiritual life. It's very life. It's one aspect, excellent aspect of life, devotional service to Krishna, Radha Krishna. Also, essential part of our service to Krishna, engaging in listening to, hearing His glories and speaking His glories and mutually tasting, sharing the same. It doesn't happen in personal sadhana, but it only happens in congregation, only happen in congregational gathering of the ista-gosthi, that not only I personally feel and taste and meditate on what I am speaking, what I am hearing, but also sharing it at the same time with other like-minded devotees. Sajatiya asaya snigdhe sadhu sangha sato bari. Like my Sajatiya asaya Visishta devotees, like-minded devotees, sharing together. And in the process of mutually sharing the taste of the same in ista-gosthi, so we are also mutually bringing some taste to each other. It's sharing so much with love and care for each other, mutual sharing and caring for each other. That happens only in Sankirtana mode, in ista-gosthi. So there is personal side of sadhana, absorbed in personal bhajan. That's also very wonderful, most beautiful, wonderful. Besides that, Mahaprabhu also wanted us to engage in ista-gosthi, instead of only personal sadhana, engage in collective sadhana. It's a collective sadhana, mutually, through mutual loving sharing and caring for each other in Krishna consciousness, in Radha Krishna consciousness. And Krishna also loves to relate to that. That's why he says, Mad bhakta yatra gayanti tatra tisthami narada. I am always there. You must know my invisible presence is there. My presence is there. Where my glories are sung. Where my glories, my topics, being described, being narrated, being sung, I am there. My subtle presence, spiritual presence, always there. This is ista-gosthi. And that the character of such ista-gosthi has been embodied or manifested through the verses like Dadati Pratigrihinati, Gujyamakhati Prichati, Bhungte Bhojayate Chaiva, Sarvidam Pritilakshanam. Ista-gosthi mode. Also, the other verse also connected with the ista-gosthi character. Utsaha Nischaya Dhajya Tat Tat Karma Pravakshana Sangat Tyagat Sato Vritti Sarvir Bhakti Prasaddhati. It is also connected in certain way. I don't say it directly relating to the verse Dadati Pratigrihinati. Okay. The character of ista-gosthi, mood of ista-gosthi also described through such verses as Sinnatang Shakatha Krishna Punna Savana Kirtana Hriddantastu Jhavadrani Vidhunoti Surit Satam. Also Satam Prasangan Mama Virja Sangvido Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Katha Tajjosanada Shapavarga Varmani Saddharati. The first two lines, ista-gosthi mood is described. Satang Prasangan Mama Virja Sangvido, full of my energy. Mama Virja Sang, full of my powerful energy is there in that ista-gosthi. In my katha Satang Prasangan Mama Virja Sangvido Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Katha. When you engage in hearing and chanting or singing my glories, my topics, in the association of the pure devotees, Satang Prasangan, in the association of the pure devotees, it makes you more powerful. It brings more taste within you, makes you more powerful with the elixir, in connection with the elixir of my glories, of my katha. Hritkarna Rasayana Katha. It becomes ambrosial elixir for your ear and heart. Ear and heart are symbolical way of saying Kanero Bhitaro Diya Morome Poshilo Go. To the path of the ear, Krishna Katha is actually touching the heart, deep down in the heart. So in that way it is said, the elixir is derived, as the elixir of Krishna Katha is drunk through the path of the ear, auditory system, and touching our heart, whole existence, touching our heart and soul. So it becomes so wonderful, so tasteful, so beneficial. This is ista-gosthi. Personal way of sadhana and mutual congregational way of the sadhana. Cultivation of Krishna consciousness with mutual feelings of mutual sharing and caring. And at some point we can be mutually reciprocating of each other's taste in ista-gosthi. So it is one main feature of the Sankirtan. Another main feature is the public program. Ista-gosthi means when it is done with only with several or some like-minded devotees only. It's not open public Krishna conscious program. That is of another nature. But while we engage in narrating the glories of Krishna and tasting it in a more private circle, okay, among just like-minded devotees, without much reservation of the discussions. So then it is of ista-gosthi character. Ista means my beloved object or subject.
Wow.
Ista, beloved object and subject. Ista. Ista means cherished object, cherished goal. In other words, my beloved object of life, subject of life. Ista-gosthi means being engaged in the topics about my beloved subject, divine subject, divinely beloved subject or object, none other than Krishna, Radhika. Ista. So, association of the cultivations on the topics of my supreme divinely beloved subject or object of my life, and relishing it through hearing and speaking, it's called ista-gosthi. So besides such ista-gosthi, another main feature is public preaching programs. Okay, and another is Sankirtan. Another feature of Sankirtan is engaging in singing loving devotional songs, great pure devotional songs, love songs of Krishna Radhika. Singing, great world, a vast world of devotional songs, Bhajan. Devotees stay absorbed days after days, lives after life, through the ways of Bhajana Giti. Is the specific way of the Gandharva Radharani. Because ultimately all the mellows, all the beautiful and tasteful melodies, raga, ragini, of these songs, and its internal mood, essential taste of the Bhajana Giti, which is contained within the great Bhajana composed by Bhakti Nandan Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, our other Guru Varga, 6 Goswamis, Chandidas, Srimad Chandidas, Vidyapati, Gyanadas, Govindadas, Swarup Goswami, Rai Ramananda, Krishna Das, Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu, composed by them, great Guru Varga, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, so Vrindavan Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Of course, I said 6 Goswamis. Oh, the Ambrosia, and so on, or other Guru Varga. So, the world of Bhajana Giti, you see. And what did we see in the last portion of manifest presence, manifest Leela of Mahaprabhu, Anta Leela? What Mahaprabhu did? He spent days after days completely absorbed, completely overwhelmed in tasting the Vipralambha Krishna Prem, being absorbed in the mood of Radhika, Vipralambha Prem of Srimati Radhika, days after days, in intimate association of Swarup Goswami Rai Ramananda Prabhu, embracing them, tasting. That is the super excellent concept of the ista-gosthi, what Mahaprabhu did. Super excellent conception, manifestation of the ista-gosthi, what Mahaprabhu did only with Swarupa Goswami, Rai Ramananda Prabhu, flowing with them, from time to time, very few intimate love devotees with him, relished through ashta-sattvika vikara, through 8 kinds of, being accompanied by, decorated with 8 kinds of loving devotional symptoms, divine love symptoms, ashta-sattvika, Krishna prema. This is the ista-gosthi. So much more to say. After all, we are talking about the infinite, supreme, infinite, divine. So literally there is no end. Okay, literally there is no end to this. I have to stop here, humbly stopping, resting my Harikatha here. Sorry, I could not even invite many questions.